Looking through the lens, opinions of three friends. Looking through the lens, sometimes they don't make sense. Welcome back, everybody, to another new episode of Through the Lens with your boys from the Unholy Trinity. Today, I am your host, Mr. Zephros. On my left, we have Mr. Patronus Gold.
Howdy do.
And on the furthest left, we have Mr. Sun Dude. Give a round of applause.
Howdy daddy do. Yeah.
Alrighty, oh. Let's get to talking about the new show called Loki on DisneyPlus.com. So Loki, have you guys heard of this man called Loki? No?
No,
Okay.
Loki haven't.
It's fair enough.
I'll leave. Bye.
Bye.
Well, it's just us now. Glad
Welcome
the
back.
monkey's not here anymore.
Who you calling a monkey, bro?
A lot of mischief.
Because his
Shapeshifter.
thingo is a monkey.
Shapeshifter.
That's nice.
Just like Loki, eh?
See.
Shapeshifter.
Loki,
I will actually leave now. No.
villain Loki resumes his role as the god of mischief in the new series that takes place after the events of Avengers Endgame. Directed by come on, loading. There you go. Directed by Kate Herron. Lung cancer. Written by Michael Waldron and 3 other people, including Stan Lee. Because Stan Lee.
I think that's more inspired by not like.
He gets writing credits, bro.
Sure.
Maybe he wrote the comics.
Therefore,
It
writing
was
credits.
based on.
Stars are good man Tom Hiddleston as Loki.
Yeah.
So
Owen Wilson as
Okay.
Morpheus from the Matrix series.
wow.
Yo.
Wow.
And more people that we have not seen. The cast and crew.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what do you guys think of this first episode?
Bro, this was a banger pilot. This is how you do it, mate. I think this is the probably one of the best out of the other 2 Marvel Disney Plus shows of in terms of pilot stuff. I think the premise of the show hooked me, characters hooked me, writing top notch. There's a great comedy in this. Overall, absolutely fantastic. Only complaint is it is a bit slow and doesn't progress the plot that much. It's mostly just like explaining stuff. But I think from the premise, there's a lot of potential for the rest of the series. And I'm digging where this is at.
Alright. What about you, Sunday?
I like.
Me
As
too.
with everything, but this really piqued my interest, especially seeing New Rockstar's blogger here.
Butt plug.
After seeing what he pointed out, yes, the writing really did have a lot of like great detail. Good stuff, brilliant.
Yeah.
Me too, mate. I think that was a pretty good episode to start off the series. I feel like I guess it's a bit slow as well, but that's part of the initial world building, I guess, of this new Time Police boys. But yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, let's get on to the acting then. How's the acting?
The bangers, obviously, it's
Right?
fucking Tom Hiddleston. I think, could this be Tom Hiddleston's best performance as Loki? Because he has a lot of emotional shit to do in this episode.
Let me true. It explores a nice spectrum.
It provides a lot of insight into the Loki character prior to the like Dark World stuff, right? So you can understand a bit more about like what goes on inside his head. Yeah. And it yeah, actually that comes out of writing. I'll put more in writing, but yeah, performance wise, Tom Hiddleston crushes it, of course. And it's really nuanced in the way that like he's not acting like Loki from the future film. He's acting like Loki from Avengers, and he brings himself back into that with such ease. And I'll still manage to build this character and develop more emotional stuff, and I think that's really cool. I also think that Mr. Mobius, Mobius, right? That's his name.
I think he's only referred to as just Agent Mobius, but in the comics he's Agent M. Mobius. Mobius M. Mobius.
Yeah. Oh, he's credited as Mobius and Mobius. I just checked. Yeah. I think Owen Wilson was great as him, and the chemistry between him and Tom Hiddleston is pretty great. Pretty great.
Can't wait to see the new characters.
Really?
Also, quick shout out, Tara Strong, Miss Minutes. Howdy, y'all.
Yes, mate. Yes, mate.
Like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Did you want to add anything?
It's just alright. Acting's good. And I guess let's move on to the writing then. Writing.
For me, writing. Like I said, the negative that I have with it is that it is a bit slow, and that could come down to the fact that it's a TV show and they're not like, we don't get the next episode until next week, so like it might like pick up the pace then. But yeah, this one's a bit slow. Though it does raise my hopes a bit with the fact that series like One Division and Falcon Winter Soldier really rush things, and this one seems to be taking its time. So I think like if they're going for like more emotional resonance and like with character and stuff, I feel like they could pull it off better than this one with the way they constructed this thing. And for sure, I think it'll also pick up the pace in terms of plot and stuff like that later down the line. But yeah, I thought that's an interesting thing about the writing in this one. Also, like I said before, the comedy is quite on point here. Lots of funny moments, lots of good jokes and stuff. So also the banter is pretty great. I liked when Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston were fighting. I mean, yeah. There's also just the world building itself is really cool. Like, it's great coming from One Division, where we're all complaining it doesn't do enough about multiverse until like maybe the very end of that show, and then at the start of Loki, immediately multiverse. Here's everything you need to know about the multiverse. Everything's just laid out for you. Yeah.
You know what? I liked it too. And yeah, the deepening of Loki's character and the whole new world of the Time Police. Oh, I forgot the name. But yeah.
TVA.
Yeah. But like TVA kind of weird in my opinion. Like, what about you? The other times when time was messed up, man. But they kind of explained it, but like I feel like, bruh.
No,
You know?
and actually, if you think about it, it makes sense because everything you've seen in the MCU has been along the correct timeline. Otherwise, for sure the TVA would have interfered, you know.
But who decides the
But-
correct timeline?
Also,
the-
because at the end of well, I guess Endgame spoilers, but you don't. That's not like
Yeah,
really.
yeah, nobody cares.
Yeah, okay. Because Endgame spoilers, Captain America returns all the stones, and this ancient one explained how as long as all the stones are replaced back to where they originally came from, the timeline will be fine. So
Yeah.
those were justified. Everything before
Yeah.
now was justified. Loki
Oh.
just taking the Tesseract and not putting it back where it came from does not justify it.
Yeah.
I guess the other thing, technically, is that Captain America stayed with Peggy Carter.
Is it a plot hole or is it an actual thing?
There is a spoiler in Spoiler Zone, which we will talk
Okay,
about.
okay.
Sure. I'm interested in that.
Peggy, where you been? Taking this pro. I guess that's good.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the cinematography though.
Oh wait, I want to say,
yeah.
to do with character development, Loki, this was like Loki. It was like a 50-minute therapy session, this episode.
Yeah.
It's kind of thinking about it. I really like that.
Mm.
That's a good way to, yeah.
True that.
Also, just gives the writers a whole bunch of fun with exploring this like side of Loki that should have already been like resolved by this point in the MCU, but just gives them another chance to like really explore this like interesting side of Loki.
And I'll be honest, I think this actually does it kind of better because you're getting more of it directly in Loki's head, sort of thing, and it has a lot of like really strong emotional moments, and also the way they construct certain things that Loki does. Okay, so Loki's like a god, right? And then you get put in this world. Okay, he is he gets put in this world where he is extremely powerless compared to just these other. Everyone else in this episode kind of feels like they're gods themselves, and that way of powerlessness really encaptures like what drives Loki, and I guess what drives a lot of villains away. And I think they did a really good job dissecting that, and in a way that, to be honest, hasn't really been explored that much in the MCU before. Even with Loki's character development in the past things, I think this one also like got a lot of confronting stuff for Loki. The way he
very confronting stuff, which we'll get into later. Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Real stuff, man.
Cool.
Alright, let's get into the cinematography now. Alright. It's alright.
For sure, movie level cinematography as per U+. Yeah, it was alright.
Not too special, so we'll get on to the editing / visuals. Well, this one, I do have things to say. Really like the set.
Yeah.
The whole aesthetic and vibe of the TVA, you know? Real cool.
Yeah, for sure. I
50s
really like
vibe.
it also had like the aesthetic of the, is it supposed to say there's like kind of like a city sort of structure to it? But like a bit of a, it's not really spoilers, I think. That's in the trailer, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, say that again.
The like city sort of ness of the place has like a little like house and stuff. It feels very reminiscent of like old I don't know, I thought of oh yes, there's actually yes, it reminded me a lot of like those futuristic dystopian novels of like the old days, such as like 1984 and stuff. And there's a 1984 reference in the trailer. I mean, in the episode that I got the second time I watched it, because I was like joking around with my friend while watching it, and I was like, wait, that's a 1984 reference, which I can talk about the spoilers, but like, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll tell you the spoilers. Yeah.
Alright. Wow. Yeah, so pretty cool.
I love the aesthetic.
Guess we shall move on then.
Sure.
Alright, so the music slash audio. Anything interesting this time? Red.
I will say so, but there was a lot of like really like stylistic music, apart from just like classic action.
Yeah.
If I don't know what you would call it though, like sci-fi music, sci-fi action.
Sci-fi music.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Sure. Alright. Then get into the spoiler then.
Hell yeah.
Spoiler zone.
Oh yeah. 1984 reference. When he's going into that room with like the ticket things and stuff on the wall, there's like a symbol of like an eye, which is like the Big Brother thing in 1984.
Yeah.
And there was also a poster that was like, they are watching or someone's watching.
Like
and it was
the
like
Big
a picture
Brother's
of the Big Brother's watching, something like that.
Yeah.
That's stuff.
Just student stuff. Because we read
Bro.
Well, I don't do that, but I read it anyways, and I don't remember much of it, but I remember some of it. Yes, I did read it.
High five.
News of okay, good enough.
I think we got one. Other thing, you want to talk about, what did you say about the Peggy thing?
In the background, there was a person captured by a Miniman, and they walked through a portal into the TVA. That person looked a lot like Peggy Carter.
Oh, damn.
Arrested for
Could be
traveling.
completely non-relevant. Just to point that out. Something that Eric Voss pointed out. But yes, it was a very Peggy Carter looking person. Now, why they got Peggy Carter instead of her husband, I don't know.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha.
And also, how did Cap get to be old?
Mhm.
Is Cap even doing any violations? Just putting that out there.
Oh yeah, speaking of violation stuff, so anyway, I was saying, it's very interesting that, actually no, it's very handy that we had WandaVision before this to introduce us to the idea of Nexus Multiverse stuff, or like immediately thrusting us in, because it's like a really big concept. I think the way they touched, like, they expanded on that stuff here, really, they spent basically 50 minutes covering the multiverse and stuff, and like really getting the audience in on this. I think they did a really good job of that world building and stuff.
Yeah.
Also, I was saying, with character development for Loki, we watched the MCU with Loki. It was like an MCU watch along, a little bit there.
Oh yeah.
And
that's
my
right.
favorite bit of the episode is where they're arguing, and then Loki goes, "I'm gonna kill you," to Mobius, and then he goes, "What? Like you killed your mum?"
Got
And
him.
then I was watching it with kids at school, and then I was like, "Ooh." It do be.
Got
yeah.
him, bro. But
Wait,
I haven't
wait.
killed my mum, bro.
Yeah, and that's the confronting thing that he was faced with. That he killed his mum, who he cares about a lot, in Dark World, right? And he hasn't done that
Yeah.
yet. So yeah, it's like a really big revelation to have. And he also fast forwards and sees how his dad dies, how he becomes friends with Thor, and I like how he smiled when he saw that, because deep down he if he had the choice to like be like the favorite son, I guess he would probably go for it, you know. It's just that he's a misunderstood sweetheart, you know. And he does want to be liked by Thor, but yeah.
Oh god, Loki cute.
Oh god, get it? Because he's a god.
Yeah.
Oh, half god.
Oh, he also sees how he dies, and that was fucking. Oh, yeah.
Sad,
Thanos, man.
Mm.
Yeah. But yeah, and I really like the quote about the weak. It's an illusion. The weak inspiring fear to something. I don't remember the entire thing, but like that was really good. And the way that he uses it in two different contexts. He was using it as like deflecting onto the TVA itself, but deep down it was actually a reflection of himself.
Yeah.
Very well handled.
Very cool.
What else was in it?
Also interesting that throughout this entire film, even from the very start when he first enters the TVA, he being portrayed as this powerless person.
Yeah.
And he's really questioning how powerful he actually is.
Infinity Stone scene, mate. That was a really good example of that.
That was the big one for him.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
And then after that, just seeing himself die. Wow.
Yeah.
Also, there was the way they framed Loki's death to pass to new Loki.
Yeah.
I guess you would say, where Loki's saying to Thanos, "You will never be a god." But the way it's framed, it looks like he's saying that to this Loki.
Damn, that DVD thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Very cool.
Yeah, mate.
Very nice.
Yeah. Wait, I was gonna say something that I forgot. Oh yes, great Mobius quote when he said that like, Loki is a side character in his own story or whatever. Damn.
Or a side story, a side character in other stories. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind
He's
of
always
deeply.
meant to be the loser.
Does that extend to everybody? Because none of us really have control because everything's dictated. I think really makes you wonder, huh? I actually
Speaking of wonder,
sorry.
just real quick. Speaking of wonder, I wonder how many people felt Sonder. Sonder?
No?
Yes, you guys know Sonder? Feeling of
this a
Sonder?
joke?
No. Sonder is the feeling that you are not the main character. Sonder is like the feeling of humbleness that you are not, that you are just as insignificant as everyone else in this planet. But yes, dumb wordplay. You go.
But no, I am dictated, bro. So I am.
Yes. What are you saying, Jack?
Sorry, what was that? What was I saying? What was the last thing we said before that joke?
You said, how do you feel about it or some shit? Or like, well, makes you think or some shit.
Well, yeah, I saw some theory that the Time Lords, whatever, that they could be the villains of the show. Yeah.
And also,
Time
it does
Lords.
actually. Folks, it goes into another tangent about the TVA and what they actually are. Shall we just go straight into that?
Go for it. Go for it.
Because there's a lot of things about the TVA that just seem sus, to use the word. Like in a lot of the credit scenes, there's a ton of redacted information. But then there's no one to judge the TVA in the first place, so why do they need to redact things?
Because they have higher ups.
Yes. Timekeepers questionably.
Yeah, it would be the Timekeepers, right?
Although they could just be like a fictional being that like was invented, some shit like that.
But they're the Time Lords.
The judge, the judge lady in that court scene,
Yeah.
I believe was ID'd as a character from the comics who was Kang the Conqueror's lover.
Ooh.
Ooh,
do we think Kang the Conqueror will make an appearance in this? Setting up for Ant-Man?
I wanna say so.
Yeah, I will.
Also,
I'll go on that train as well.
Yeah. Also, the judge lady was pictured in the lips of the timekeeper behind her. So that was also kind of like, yeah, maybe. Yes, there's a lot of stuff that's just very mysterious about. Oh, also the Miss Minutes thing.
Yeah.
If you look at the bottom of the when it ends, it's not credited by the TVA, but it's credited by the TVA Narrative Committee. So it was a narrative set up by them.
Oh no,
Well,
it's
and
gonna
there's
be
a-
another Mysterio case, mate.
Or it seems like a lot of propaganda. Well, like you get a lot of propaganda vibes with a lot of these.
Well, that's just like a government
Also
entity.
links to that 1984 thing,
The
right?
CIA.
Yeah.
Someone is watching, like stuff like that. Yeah.
Actually, to touch on the animation, cool stuff about that. Miss
Yeah.
Minutes itself, I'm pretty sure, is a Jurassic Park reference, correct me if I'm wrong, to the
Yes,
DNA
the
character.
DNA. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that Dio raised his hand to like punch someone, but no.
No.
I thought Theo was being choked for a second there.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
Chokehold. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to go soon.
Yeah, so that was the Jurassic.
Okay.
We'll wrap it up.
We'll wrap up.
Jurassic Park reference. It also had references to like classic Marvel animation from the old days, stuff like that, and a reference to that TV show, the one with the futuristic like family. You know that's futuristic.
Flintstones?
No, hold on, let me find it. It's from the makers of the Flintstones, I think.
Don't they like the Flintstones and they have their friends and they're like from the spaceship place? Yeah.
The uranium stone.
Hold on, I'm
Infinity
gonna
Stones.
It's just the Flintstones, right?
The Jetsons,
And the Flintstones.
right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're like from the same things, but like, yeah,
It's from the same universe,
Classic.
pretty sure.
cartoon.
Flintstones
Yeah.
Cinematic Universe.
Okay. Final spoiler thing.
Yep.
Sexy grill Loki. Yes.
Possibly, we're not sure.
Possibly.
But
Seems
also,
like it.
yeah, I like 100% knew it was that villain was gonna be Loki. Just I had a feeling because you see lots of different versions of Loki in the trailer. To like probably gonna be like a villain version of Loki, which would make sense to go after him like a mind hunter thing, get in the mind of the killer, you know, sort of thing. And who better to do that when like Loki himself?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Also, in Loki's profile by the TVA, his sex is listed as fluid.
Which
He
is
was
in the
not
comics
a
as well.
solid.
Yes.
Confirmed. Nor a gas.
Nah, it's all water.
Yeah.
Makes sense because shapeshift the man.
I don't know why my mind first went to shit's water. Don't ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. Possible Lady Loki. We will see our Loki sitting with a blonde lady, while under some like very cinematic like space looking place.
Would you know she have red hair?
I don't remember honestly.
Because
Could be.
people are like
I remember.
Natasha. That was a big thing.
Yeah.
But I don't remember. It seems like
the
it was like
internet.
I don't know. Could be. Very interesting
Yeah.
to think about. Also, in the France scene, where the Mobius was talking to the little girl, and the little girl points to a like
Mephisto.
well, not Mephisto
El
because
Diablo.
it was like a
Yeah.
horned, red-faced person, but Loki has horns as well. So.
Yeah, yeah. I knew they were doing that. I knew 100% they were gonna trick us again with that.
Yeah.
horn. It's a joke amongst the Marvel people now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes. Lady Loki possibly like. Also,
Yeah.
TVA kind of sus.
Yeah.
But that's spoiler zone, I guess.
Yep.
Time
Nope.
for a verdict. Is
Ew.
it? Yeah.
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 Welcome back, everyone who skipped. I'm gonna start off the verdicts here. I'm thinking of
Theo's voice from the void.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm changing my pants, mate.
Ah,
live,
sexy,
you know?
sexy.
Do it on camera, yeah.
Yeah, I got my pants on. This is fine now. So,
Alright.
7 out of 10. Cause it's pretty cool, but it had some slow parts. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 7 out of 10 for me.
Yeah. For me, like I said, great world building, great writing, great chemistry between characters, acting's great, everything's premise is awesome. Lots of great things about this. Only negative is this is a bit slow, but other than that, that's basically I like basically everything else about it. I'm thinking solid 9 out of 10 for this one.
Ooh.
Damn. Because I don't have any strong opinions, I'll go with an 8 and give it room for the rest of the series to get really fucking great.
Alright.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's a combined average of 8.
Alright.
Oh yeah.
Thanks everyone for watching this episode. Tell us what you thought about the first episode of Loki, and we'll be seeing the next episode. Toodaloo.
Yes.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.